Welcome back to Potent Logic, gentlemen. Provocative wisdom and guidance for every man. Today's content will cover why you should never relapse again. When you hear the word addiction, what is the first thing that comes to mind? If you're a member of the seed retention community, you're probably thinking about topics like relapse and porn addiction. But here's the truth. Your issue isn't with porn or relapse. It's with technology. Take a step back and consider the big picture. How many hours do you waste scrolling around social media? This might be Facebook for some, Instagram or TikTok for others, or simply an addiction to your alerts. When you hear the notification bell, you run to your phone like a senseless parrot. Mindless scrolling is the most serious problem for most men, and it must be addressed before you consider addressing your porn addiction. Simply avoiding porn will not help. Instead, you must avoid everything that causes your desire to watch it in the first place, which is an empty mind. Remember, brothers, that all these large social media companies have spent millions, if not billions of dollars, investigating the human mind. Every sound, pixel, and specification has been carefully designed to make you stop thinking only after you've stopped thinking for yourself. Do you fall victim to their hookup culture and marketing tactics? The newsfeed is meant to put you to sleep. Keep this simple notion in mind at all times, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. They want you to spend as much time as possible on their platform. You may spend 10 minutes browsing initially, but your dopamine levels will soon get fried that you will need to get back on your phone, even during a party, to keep yourself occupied. People enjoy swiping because it's in our nature to seek the bottom of the abyss. But here's the terrible truth. Swinging up on social media is an infinite abyss with no end in sight. So the more you do it, the more addicted you become. Of course, this does not mean that you should delete Facebook. In fact, it's a terrific way to stay in touch with pals. Simply change the environment of your social media. For example, you can install a plugin called Newsfeed Eradicator, which will delete your newsfeed after a set period. This is possibly the best tool for men trying to eliminate their desires for social media entirely in as little as 2 days. It'll help you forget about the newsfeed, and that's the first lesson. Change your environment. Regardless of what society says, you have complete control over your environment, and you can choose to stay in it or alter it to improve your life. When changing your surroundings, you should focus on 2 things: adjusting the number of cues you need to raise and decreasing certain cues in your environment. Cues serve as reminders to do or not do something. When alcohol addicts go through therapy, they're often instructed to use door handles as cues because every time you see a door handle, you must remind yourself of your alcohol addiction and you're about to leave for good. So when it comes to your cues, you must first learn to eliminate undesirable cues. In the case of your social media addiction, the newsfeed was the cue to begin mindless scrolling. So, by eliminating this cue, you will notice the urge begin to fade. Second, increase the good cues, which means changing your environment in such a way that every part of it provides you with a healthy reminder. This can suggest putting in a pull-up bar in your office, because the pull-up bar acts as a reminder every time you enter through the door. You will find it simpler to accomplish an additional 10 to 20 pull-ups a day on the spur of the moment. Other effective cues include posting your goals on a wall so you can see them every time you get up. It could even be as basic as having a weekly check-in with an accountability partner. Now that you've minimized the undesirable cues that trigger compulsive urges and increase the good cues, it's time for you to confront your bad habits and finally break them. To accomplish this, you must make it more difficult for yourself to follow bad habits and easier to follow good practices, because certain habits will always have inevitable negative cues. Assume you're a little overweight. The part of the reason is that you eat a lot of junk food. The hunger that you can't seem to get rid of is a trigger here. To begin, get rid of all the junk food in your home and stock your refrigerator with healthier alternatives. When you become hungry, which is unavoidable, you won't find junk food there, and getting it from outside will even be more difficult. You'll have to get dressed up for the store, which will probably take approximately 20 minutes. All of this may make you wonder, why should I do this when I have a tasty yet healthy food in the fridge? So by altering your environment, you've made it more difficult to maintain your bad habits while making it simpler to maintain your good ones. If you want to discipline yourself to go to the gym, one of the most important aspects influencing whether you practice this habit consistently is how far your gym is. If it takes you an hour to go there, you'll end up skipping more sessions. Therefore, the easier it is to get there, the better. Prepare all your exercise equipment the night before, including gym clothes and water bottles, lock your gym bags, and so on. Pack and prepare the night before your workout session. Having everything set up can help you stick to your habit by acting as a visual signal. If you want to take this to the next level, sleep in your gym clothes so that when you wake up in them, you unconsciously expect to work out. So remember, brothers, that changing your environment is the first step in breaking an unhealthy habit or addiction. Although it may appear difficult at first, as a man, you must learn to accept responsibility for everything around you. Change everything that isn't serving you in life and get rid of the victim mentality. I want you to ask these questions aloud. Only you know the answers. Am I in an environment that encourages my good or bad habits? And secondly, what adjustments can I make to my environment that will benefit me? By the way, don't forget to show some love. Tap that subscribe button and hit like for the algorithm to see the next best way to level up as a man. As always, it has been a pleasure.